My name is Julie DeBruson. I'm the Member of Parliament for Toronto Danforth, and welcome to the Danforth Music Hall. I want to begin by acknowledging that we are meeting today on the lands of traditional territories of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Wendat, and the Chippewas people. It is great to welcome you to my riding in my community of Toronto Danforth. Thank you. We are kicking off Climate Action Week, and I am happy that I have many members from my caucus here to help celebrate with us today. Je suis tellement contente de vous voir ici avec nous ce soir. C'est vraiment important. Merci. Thank you for coming to show your support for reducing pollution. I know this is an important issue in my community. Last summer, I took part in a plastic-free challenge, and I met with local businesses like Sea Espresso on Broadview, Morgan's on the Danforth. I met with our local farmers markets, like the Withrow Park and Leslieville farmers markets, and they are all taking action to reduce pollution. Now, I have a question for you. Who here wants real action on climate change? Right. That's why we're here tonight. We're here to show our support for climate action. And that's important for the future of our country and for our future generations. When I take my daughter for synchronized swimming practices at Riverdale Collegiate, parents talk to me about the need for climate change action. When I coach my daughter's ball hockey games at Jimmy Simpson, parents talk to me about the need for climate change action. When I go to soccer games, school plays, dance shows, I hear the same thing. Parents want a healthy future for their children. They want less pollution, cleaner air, and cleaner water for the future. That's why our Liberal government has a real plan to fight climate change. And that's why our Liberal Party has the courage to stand up for that plan. It shouldn't be free to pollute anywhere across our country. Now, we're here tonight to stand with two people who have the courage and the determination to put that plan into action. We're here with the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Catherine McKenna, and our Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau. Now, before I introduce you to Catherine, let me just tell you a quick story. This summer, when we were in Saskatoon for Summer Caucus, I went out for an early morning run with Catherine. And let me tell you, the moment we started running, she started peppering me with questions about Toronto, about my views on climate policy. She didn't skip a beat. And let me tell you, I'm a pretty good runner. But nothing tests your stamina like running and talking about climate policy at the same time. Now, Catherine, she didn't even break a sweat. She is determined, hardworking, and she is a leader who will bring our climate action plan over the finish line. Thank you. Good to see you.
All right. Well, thank you, Julie. Who is the most awesome member of Parliament for Toronto Danforth? Let me tell you, Julie pushes every day for climate action. She also is working so hard for the people of Toronto Danforth, and she is an awesome part of our amazing team. And I am totally thrilled to be here with so many members of our caucus, with the Prime Minister, because we are a team. We stand together, and you know what? We need climate action. So let's talk about climate change for a second. Who believes it's real? Who believes in science? We got a report last year that said we have 12 years to take serious climate action. We are all in this together. We need to act. And just remember last year. Who remembers last summer? Who remembers the extreme heat that we felt last summer? Who remembers that people literally died of extreme heat? I've called mothers in British Columbia where there were forest fires. Remember those forest fires? And guess what? They were scared for their kids to go outside because the air quality was so bad. And who remembers a couple of years ago, just by the DVP, where there was a flash flood, rains, and it was actually flooded the DVP, and it trapped a whole bunch of commuters. We need to act on climate change. I want to tell you a little story. I want to tell you a story of a guy. I want to tell you a story of Carter. Carter is Inuit. You want to hear about First Nations? I will, Inuit, Métis, I will talk about Carter. If you would just let me to talk about Carter. Carter is an Inuit boy. He lives in Cambridge Bay in the high Arctic. I was with Carter on a ship. We were going through the high Arctic where he sat down beside me. He sat down by one of my amazing climate scientists for Environment and Climate Change Canada, and he said to me, "Can I talk to you about some things that I'm worried about? I think they might be climate change." And I said, "Sure, tell me about what you're worried about." He said, "I'm worried about our caribou. Our caribou are disappearing. That's the country food we rely on." He said, "I'm worried about polar bears, that they're having to go a lot further for food." And then he told me the saddest thing. He said, "I'm also worried because 3 of my friends have lost their fathers. They went hunting and they went through the ice." Climate change is real. We need to be serious about climate change. We need to act, and we all need to act together. Et je veux vous dire, nous avons un plan. Nous avons un plan pour attaquer au changement climatique parce que nous devons faire notre devoir ici au Canada et nous devons travailler avec le monde entier. Nous mettons un prix sur la pollution. Pourquoi? Parce que si gratuit pour polluer, il va y avoir plus de pollution. We are putting a price on pollution. Why? Because if polluting is free, there will be more pollution. And I am extremely proud to be part of a government that is stepping up and doing that. And I want you to, who gets excited at tax time? No one, but you should be really excited this year because the Ford government wanted to make it free to pollute, and we said that's not fair because pollution doesn't know any borders, and there's going to be a price on pollution across the country. But guess what? When Ontarians file their taxes, they're going to get the Climate Action Incentive Rebate. A family of 4 will get $307. That is more than 8 out of 10 families pay. That is what climate action looks like. So tell your friends to go file their taxes. What else have we been doing? What else have we been doing? We've been investing in public transit projects, including right here in Toronto. We've been investing in energy efficiency because we know folks want to save money. Whether your schools, a hospital, a municipality, you want to do better, you want to be more energy efficient, you want to save money, and you want to do right by the planet. We're phasing out coal, making historic investments in renewables, and ensuring a just transition for workers and communities. And we're committed to working with you and doing more because we are better together. We need to take serious climate action. But guess what? We've got a problem. You know what our problem is? Your plan. Conservative politicians. Because you know what? conservative politicians across the country do not believe in climate action. They think it should be free to pollute. What do you think about that? No. What do you think about conservative politicians that want to divide us rather than bring us together around climate action? Bad! We need to come together. We need to keep on working. Nous devons travailler très fort ensemble. And let me tell you, I've had someone who has always had my back on this file. I've had someone who said, we need to go to Paris, we need to go with Indigenous peoples, we need to go with premiers, we need to go with business people, we need to go to youth to make sure that we're pressing for an ambitious Paris Agreement. I've had someone who's always had my back here when it's come to taking climate action, even when it's hard and folks don't want to do it. And you know who that person is? It's the Prime Minister of Canada! I'm very happy to have him here!
Tonight? Are there any Liberals in the House? Let's hear it first off for two amazing leaders in our caucus, Julie DeBruce and Catherine McKenna. Since 2015, Julie has been such a strong voice for the people right here in Toronto, Danforth. She is so dedicated to this community. I know you guys know this, but you are lucky to have her. And Catherine, well, what can I say about Catherine other than she's a total rock star in this government? She has been our point person on the environment since day one, and she's doing an outstanding job for Canadians. So thank you, Julie and Catherine. Listen, before we talk about the incredible work our Liberal team is doing on climate change, I want to address something that I'm sure is on some of your minds this evening: Jane Philpott's resignation from Cabinet. I know Ms. Philpott has felt this way for some time, and while I am disappointed, I understand her decision to step down, and I want to thank her for her service. I want to thank her. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you. In democracies, you get people with a wide range of perspectives and voices, and we need to leave room for as many of them as possible. I think that's an important piece of it. So I want to thank Jane. I want to thank Jane for her service, for making tremendous progress on eliminating boil water advisories on reserve, to working on a next-gen solution for the Phoenix pay system. She worked tirelessly with this team to achieve transformational change. We will continue this crucial work. In a democracy like ours, and in a space where we value our diversity so strongly, we're allowed to have disagreements and debate. We even encourage it. This matter has generated an important discussion. How democratic institutions, specifically the federal ministry, and the staff and officials that support it, conduct themselves is critical and core to all of our principles. Concerns of this nature must be taken very seriously, and I can assure you that I am. I know and appreciate the hard work that the Justice Committee is doing. I'm listening carefully to the various voices, testimonies, and opinions. There are more questions still to answer and more to be said in the coming days and weeks. But at the same time, my friends, we need to keep in mind the bigger picture behind this fantastic movement we have built and continue to build. The many issues globally and here at home that we must not let up on. Canadians from coast to coast to coast are counting on us. They need our total commitment to tackling the big things and getting them right. And that includes taking real, meaningful action on climate change. Avant de parler du travail incroyable que fait notre équipe libérale sur le dossier des changements climatiques, je veux prendre un moment pour parler de la démission de Jane Philpott du Conseil des ministres. Je savais que Mme Philpott se sentait comme ça depuis un certain temps, et bien que ça me déçoive, je respecte sa décision de se retirer et je tiens à la remercier pour son service. Que ce soit en levant des avis d'ébullition de l'eau à long terme ou en essayant de trouver des solutions au système de paix Phoenix, elle a travaillé sans relâche avec cette équipe pour livrer du vrai changement. Et le travail se poursuit. Dans une démocratie comme la nôtre et dans un endroit où on valorise autant la diversité, on peut avoir des désaccords et des débats. En fait, c'est quelque chose qu'on encourage. Les événements des dernières semaines ont suscité des conversations importantes. La façon dont nos institutions démocratiques fonctionnent, dont le ministère fédéral, son personnel et la fonction publique qui l'appuie, est un élément critique et fondamental de tous nos principes. Les inquiétudes de cette nature doivent être prises au sérieux. Et je peux vous assurer qu'on prend les choses au sérieux. Je reconnais et j'apprécie tout le travail qu'effectue le Comité de la justice. J'écoute avec attention les différents témoignages, voix et opinions. Il nous reste encore beaucoup de questions à répondre et plus à dire dans les prochains jours et les prochaines semaines. En même temps, chers amis, on doit garder en tête l'ensemble de la situation. Pensez à ce mouvement fantastique que nous avons bâti ensemble, que nous allons continuer de bâtir. Merci, mes amis. Merci, mes amis. Nombreux sont les enjeux à travers le monde et ici chez nous que nous ne pouvons pas mettre de côté. Les Canadiens, d'un océan à l'autre, comptent sur nous. Ils doivent pouvoir compter sur notre engagement total pour s'attaquer à de grands enjeux et trouver les bonnes solutions. Et ça inclut prendre des mesures concrètes pour s'attaquer au changement climatique. My friends, we have important work ahead of us. It's Climate Action Week, and I'm so proud of this team for putting our environment front and center and making sure that life is affordable for families. And frankly, it shouldn't have taken this long for a Canadian government to get real about climate change, because there are a few things all Canadians can agree on. We want our kids to breathe clean air. We want to swim in clean water, and we want to hike through our beautiful parks and spend time in the great outdoors. Oh boy, hang on, it's okay.
We should go, sir. This is not doing that.
Let's stay a little more. No.
Someone give me an update here.
It is a wonderful thing. It is a wonderful thing in Canada that we get to gather in public and exchange ideas and have a political discourse. But we have people who come here to engage in the democratic process. People are here to listen, people are here to support. And people need to have an opportunity to engage in this democracy. That's what this is all about. There are opportunities to share a broad range of opinions, and tonight we're talking about our real plan to tackle the environment, to fight climate change, and we're doing it together. You know, some of my fondest memories were when I was growing up, which included sailing at Jericho Beach in Vancouver and paddling through Algonquin Park. And I want my kids, Xavier, Ella Grace, and Hadrian, to live in a country where those opportunities still exist, where they want to play outside and explore, and where it's safe for them to do so. Because enjoying our natural world is a huge part of our Canadian identity. Whether you're exploring the Rockies or Gros Morne, sledding up north, or cottaging around the Great Lakes, being outside is central to who we are. And our environment doesn't just fuel our pastimes. In water, on land, and high above us, the Canadian landscape grows our food, connects us to new markets, and powers our communities. It's something to be cherished and protected. Faced with climate change, we don't have a moment to spare. You know the impacts of our changing climate. You see it all around you. Fires that threaten whole cities, droughts that destroy crops, heat waves that claim more and more lives, floods that wipe out rail lines, submerge neighborhoods, and shut down highways. Des feux de forêt, des canicules, des inondations, des catastrophes sont de plus en plus fréquentes. Les coûts liés au nettoyage grimpent et les conséquences sont de plus en plus dévastatrices pour les communautés canadiennes. Et je parle juste des phénomènes météorologiques extrêmes. Les migrations forcées, l'extinction des espèces et la qualité de l'air qui se dégrade, tout ça témoigne d'un climat qui se dérègle. My friends, as communities, as governments, as citizens, we have a responsibility to act. And thanks to your help and your guidance, that's exactly what we're doing. We are making historic investments in public transit and climate-resilient infrastructure. We're phasing out coal. We're introduced a world-leading oceans protection plan. We're making the most significant investment in nature conservation in Canada's history. We're fighting ocean plastics, and as the cornerstone of our plan, we put a price on pollution because it shouldn't be free to pollute anywhere in this country. Earlier today, I met with Andrea and Brian Amaro. They have two young girls, Ava, age 2, and Zoe, age 1. Andrea is a teacher on mat leave. Brian has a tech startup and works from home. They're a down-to-earth family who've worked hard to build a good life for themselves in Mississauga. Well, I got the chance to talk to them about our price on pollution and how their family will be better off because of it. After all, the average family of 4 will get back more money than they pay out. With the climate action incentive, the average Ontario family of 4 will get over $300 back on their taxes this year. For 80% of Ontario families, that's more money than they'll pay out directly over the year. We're making polluters pay and giving that money back to Canadians. Les scientifiques et les économistes éminents appuient la tarification du carbone. La moitié de l'économie mondiale a mis un prix sur la pollution, de la Chine à l'Europe, en passant par la Californie. BC has had a price on pollution for over a decade. And guess what? In BC, emissions are down, jobs and growth are up. Putting a price on pollution is the best, most effective way to leave a healthier planet for our kids. And yet, in spite of the evidence, there are some politicians who still don't get it. Believe it or not, there are some who think we should do nothing on climate change. Some pollutions who won't just try to stop our progress, but will actually take us backwards to the Harper days. It was in April of last year that Andrew Scheer announced he'd soon be unveiling his climate change plan. April of last year. Well, here we are in March of 2019, 309 days later, and he has released nothing. Shame. But hold on. Let's give these Conservatives a break. After all, they've been busy. Busy stoking fear and division. Busy telling us that we should have caved to the Americans on NAFTA. Busy backing Brexit before it was cool, to quote Andrew Scheer. In the absence of a real plan, we can only assume that the Conservatives will go back to the approach that they know best, neglecting the environment. C'est toujours la même équipe du côté des conservateurs. Vous n'avez qu'à regarder leur équipe au Canada Atlantique, où la plupart de leurs candidats se sont présentés ou ont servi sous Stephen Harper. Chers amis, on ne peut pas revenir à l'époque de Harper. Ça ne ralentira pas seulement notre élan sur le climat, ça nous ramènerait 10 ans en arrière. Andrew Scheer said that the first thing he'd do if he's elected Prime Minister is get rid of the price on pollution. Think about that. The first thing he'd do as Prime Minister would be to make pollution free again. You want to know the first thing we did when we got elected? We cut taxes for the middle class and raised them on the wealthiest 1%. Because that's what it means to put families and workers first in this country. The Conservatives spend all their time talking about how they'd make pollution free again, rather than about talking about the economy and jobs. But here's the thing. They don't actually want to talk about the economy, because our economic plan, with its focus on the middle class, is working. We chose to invest in our communities and in our people. We invested in clean tech, in skills training and small businesses. We invested in schools and housing and childcare. We strengthened the CPP, and we introduced the new Canada Child Benefit for families. And the results are in. Nearly 900,000 new jobs, most of them full-time. The lowest unemployment in 40 years. 825,000 Canadians lifted out of poverty. Liberals, my friends, the proof is there. Real change is working. Et regardons les choses en face. Ce ne sera pas facile de s'attaquer au changement climatique et léguer une planète en meilleur état à nos enfants et à nos petits-enfants. Real, meaningful action to deliver a healthy environment while making sure life is affordable for families will take a lot of hard work from everyone. But you know what else took a lot of hard work? The Acid Rain Treaty. The immigration policies that we built this country with, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, universal health care. This is the Canadian way. We face the challenges in front of us head-on together. We don't cower because something is hard. As Liberals, we know that there's even more reason to do it now and to do it right. It's 2019. And if you don't have a plan for climate change, then you don't have a plan for the economy, and you certainly don't have a plan for Canada's future. Leadership is about facing reality head-on. It's not about sticking your head in the sand and ignoring what's all around you. It's not about fighting progress in court. Canadians deserve better than that. Canadians deserve real leadership. As Liberals, we will continue to take real action on climate change. We will continue to support middle-class families, and we will always, always put people first. So, my friends, let's get down to work, let's keep talking to Canadians, and let's go knock doors, because we all know better is always possible. Thank you very much. Merci, mes amis.